Okay, now I know all of you can hear me, so without further ado, we are going to start today's lesson with the class rules. So here you see very simple class rules, all of you can understand very clearly, but I'm just going to briefly mention. So the class starts at 12:30, ends at 2 p.m. So try to be on time. Okay, if you can come earlier, that's good as well. We can chit chat before class, which starts at 12:30. And please make sure your video is turned on at all times so I know where you're looking and whether, whether you're paying attention. And also keep yourself muted just in case there's background noise and all. So only unmute yourself to speak. Okay, an easy shortcut on Zoom is if you if you press and hold the space bar, you can mute and unmute. That's a very easy way to do it instead of always going to the mute button. You just press and hold the space bar, it will mute and unmute for you. Okay, that's a shortcut. And then if you want to speak, as the class goes, move on, there'll be more students joining. So you please raise your hand either using the reaction button, there's many characters, either you use that or you physically raise your hand, I can see you, and then you unmute and then you speak, okay? And pay attention, listen closely. It's only 1.5 hour lesson, so you can learn as much as possible. Be respectful. If any of your friends make any mistakes, don't laugh at them. We are all here to learn. Encourage your friends as much as possible. And try and stay seated. Right, don't jump like a monkey and walking around everywhere. I will give you short breaks, okay? But stay seated. I want to see your beautiful face. And make sure your environment is quiet. There's no TV running, music running, okay? So it's not distracting for you. And do your best, try your best. Even if you get it wrong, it doesn't matter. As long as you try, you get class dojo points, okay? So all of you have your monsters already. I wouldn't be flipping back and forth class dojo. So what I want you to do is every time I say you have a point, take note. At the end of the lesson, I will ask you how many points you have. So mentally take note of how many points you have, and then at the end of the lesson, tell me, and then I'll give you the points on class dojo and you will see it physically, okay? And at the end of the lesson, I'll also ask you, what have you learned? To see if you've been paying attention. I'll ask you, tell me at least one thing you've learned in the class today, okay? And then one more thing, at the end of the lesson, I will choose one parent to speak to. Or every lesson I'll speak to a different parent, okay, just to update our parents how you have been doing and your progress. So without further ado, let's start today's lesson. Okay, so all of you have done, I'm assuming because you mentioned, and I know Elias 3 questions. I will get back to you and I'll let you know where your mistakes were. And Wei Hong, if you can unmute yourself and let me know, did you finish your tutorial? Because I couldn't hear you just now. Yes, okay, great. Now wait, someone is trying to. Okay, so you finished the tutorial, right? Well done. Now, did you have any mistakes? Did you get whichever questions you got wrong? Can you let me know? Was there any questions that you got wrong? Do you remember? You're muted, my dear. I cannot hear you. I'm muted. You need to unmute to speak. Unmute, yes. Yes. What? Oh, my dear, I cannot hear you at all. I'm so sorry. I hope your audio gets fixed soon or by the next lesson. But meanwhile, don't worry, I'm seeing you, okay? And your presence is noted. Okay, so I'm going to continue today's lesson. You can mute yourself now until I call you to answer question. Okay, we're going to take turns. So let's look at today's. Okay, by the way, grammar. How many of you have Instagram or you know what's Instagram? You know what's Instagram, right? Now, Instagram has the word gram. It ends with G-R-A-M, if you notice, right? Gram means something that is written, what you have written, okay? So Insta means very fast, something you've written. So that word has Instagram. Telegram also ends with gram because it's something that you type. It's like a chat box that you type, right? So that is Telegram. Yes, Wei Hong? You're raising your hand. What do you want to say?
What is?
Sorry? What is what? I cannot hear you. Okay, so in PSLE, grammar is 10 marks, 10 questions. Okay, vocabulary is basically choosing the closest answer. That will be 5 marks, 5 questions. Synthesis and transformation will be 10 marks. And there will be 5 questions. Each question will be 2 marks, just for you to know what happens in PSLE. Okay, and we're going to go through these 3 components for today. Now, today we are focusing for grammar. What is the key thing you need to remember is the word prepositions. Anyone know what is prepositions? Sure. I see the message by Wee Hong. Yes, you can switch to iPad. Yes. Anyone knows what's preposition? If you don't know, it's okay. Prepositions has the word position, right? Pre means before. So you're telling me where something is. So there's 3 reasons you will use preposition. Number 1, where. Okay. The place. Is it on the table? Is it under the table? Is it in the room? So on, under, over, at, below. It tells you where an object is, right? Wei Hong is in the hall, maybe. Elias is in the kitchen, maybe, right? So where are you? You are in the kitchen. So when you use words like in, over, under, you're telling me where something is, that's a preposition. Another time you will use preposition is to tell me the time. During Miss Disha's lesson, I was hungry. So during is a preposition because it tells me when. When are you talking about? To the time, right? So it tells me. So during, example, during, this is an example. Place, example, on, okay, in, okay. And then the third time, movement. Let me tell you what is an example. Like into. Now, children always get confused between, kids always get confused between into and in. There's a difference, okay? If I am moving from one place to another place, I will say, Elias is walking into his room. I won't say Elias is walking in his room. In is only used to show you where something is, right? Elias is in his room. But if I'm moving, if it's a movement, if it's moving, I will say Elias is moving into his room. Okay, be very clear because that's always a confusion. Now, without further ado, let's look at other prepositions. So here are some examples of prepositions. Okay, at, in, into, from, around, between, under, on. Okay, some of these words tells you where something is. Okay, it tells you the time. Is it during, after, before? It tells you movement. Okay, into the room. So let's look at prepositions that are used with the verb. What are verbs? Do you all know what are verbs? Who knows what are verbs? Yes, Wei Hong, what are verbs? Do you say action? You said action. Very good. Verbs are action words. Wait, let me. Okay, yes. Verbs are action words. So you can see this screen. Verbs. Okay. Wrong screen. Give me a moment. Okay, verbs are action words. You need to know this word, right? It's a grammar word. Action words, okay? Like run, hop, talk. These are action words. What are nouns? Who knows what are nouns? By the way, Wei Hong, give yourself 1 point. Later at the end of the lesson, count all your points and tell me how many you have, okay? I'm taking note that you have 1 point as well. What are nouns? Elias, do you know what's a noun? Yes, Wei Hong, what's a noun? I cannot hear. I think you're saying something, but let me just say, nouns are naming words. Like Elias, your name is a noun, okay? Table, chair is a noun. You're calling something by its name. Dog, cat, monkey is a noun. So names of people, places, Serangoon Gardens, okay, Jurong is a noun. Names of people, places, animals, and things. Everything that you name, you call something is a noun. Now, what are adjectives? What are adjectives? I can hear you mouthing the word describe, even though I can't hear you. Very good. So, Elias, you have another point. Good job. So, adjectives means you describe something. What are you describing? You are describing the noun. Long table. Table is a noun. Long is an adjective. Anything that you use to describe. So it's usually used before a noun. Sometimes it can be after as well. But if you describe something, it is an adjective. So these are very important. Later I will test you, see if you remember. And let's go to the next slide.
At that slide.
Okay, so walk. Walk is a verb. Along. So all the highlighted words in green, these are all prepositions. It tells you where. Walk along. Along means you start from one place and you end another place. A constant direction, right? This is along. When do you use along? Along a beach. I walk along the corridor. I walk along the path. Okay. What is walk into? I told you, right? It's a movement. So you walk into a place, right? Into a building. I walk into a room. So into is a preposition. It tells you movement. I walk in. Now, how many of your teachers have said this? Please walk in twos. Your teacher got tell you before, walk into? Yes. What does walk into means? It means form two lines. So walk in. In is a preposition. Okay, I'm telling you, please form two lines in twos. Now, what is walk through? What can you walk through? Who knows? Yes, Wei Hong? Sorry? I can hear you. I can hear you say I walk through, but I cannot hear the last word. But good. I mean, I know you're trying. Don't worry, your audio is going to get fixed soon. I see your mom connected you with somewhere else. So maybe that audio is going to work.
Sorry.
Wait. Okay. Walk through means you walk through a tunnel. You enter some place, you exit another place. If you cannot enter and exit, it's not through. Okay. So through means you must enter some place and you exit. And the last one that we have here is walk over. Now, if this is not a nice word to use, okay? People walk all over him. If I say,
Hello?
Oh, yes, hi. Hi, Wei Hong.
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you now. Okay, so walk over means you don't treat someone with respect, okay? People walk all over. People walk over John, okay? And do not respect his views at all. So walk over is to treat someone very, very badly, inconsiderate. You're very inconsiderate, okay? Not in a nice manner. So that's what walk over means. Yes, Wei Hong, you're raising your hand.
Over bridge.
Walking over, yes, very good. You can walk over a bridge, very good. It's a point for you. I am recording all your points. Well done. Okay, number one, the answer. I want Elias to tell me. You can keep yourself muted until you are going to answer so it's not too noisy. Elias, can you please unmute yourself? Tell me, first answer my question. Is Mary singular or plural? Is it one person or many? Singular means one, single scoop of ice. Yes, very good. So I'm going to write S for singular. Now, walks is a verb. Can you tell me if this verb is singular or, yes, it's singular or plural?
Singular.
Yes, because obviously the noun is singular, so the verb must have an S. Every time you add an S behind the verb, it's singular, right? Okay, very good. Now, can you tell me the answer?
B. Along.
Walk. Yes, very good. You can't walk against. What against? You lean against, right? So this is definitely out because you lean against the wall. You don't walk against the pathway. Walk along, yes, definitely, because along means constant direction. Okay, you're walking along. Oh, yes, I see your handwriting is very neat. Walk into. Into means it's a movement, okay? You cannot walk into, okay? You only can move in, you're walking, so you can. I walked into John's room. It's movement, but here I'm walking along the path. So this one is to show movement. This one is to tell me where something is, okay? It is in the room. So B is out, C is out, wrong one. A is out. So the answer is B. Very good. Elias, give yourself a point. Please write it down somewhere or type it somewhere so you know how many points you have. Later, I'll ask you at the end of the lesson how many points you have, okay? So Wei Hong, currently you have 4 points. Write it down somewhere. You just write 4, the number 4. Later, I'll ask you how many points you have, okay? Elias, how many points do you record?
2, I think. Yeah, 2.
Okay. Yes, and then plus now, so it's 3. So write down 3, okay? So let's go to the next slide. Very good. Next one. Question 2 is Wei Hong's turn. It's your turn to answer. Can you tell me, first tell me, birds, singular or plural? Is it singular or plural? Singular means one, plural means many.
Flute.
Plural, very good. No, I want to know if birds is singular or plural. It's plural, it's more than one, right? So now that you know it's plural, okay, and it's they means more than one, the answer cannot be a singular answer. So is fly singular or plural?
Singular.
Singular.
Very good. So fly, very good. Elias, give yourself a point as well. Fly is singular, so it cannot be the answer because birds is plural, right? So B is out. What about fly?